Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
He's Count Jackula. And today we're going to talk about Bring Her Back, a supernatural Australian horror film from the Philippou brothers, who you may know as the filmmakers behind the film Talk to Me, which we both really enjoyed. So we were definitely looking forward to this one. But oh boy, I did not anticipate how hard to watch this movie would be.
Yeah, this movie's a difficult sit.
Not because it's bad, it's really good, but because even though this is a supernatural horror film, there are ghosts and possibly even a demon involved at one point in this movie, the actual source of horror in this movie is far more human. And that source of horror is parental abuse.
Yeah.
This movie is about two orphans whose father recently died, and they are taken in by a foster mother from hell. But here's the twist. She only treats one of them poorly. The other one is blind and doesn't see most of the abuse that's happening, and she manipulates the whole situation to make it look like the other sibling is crazy and acting out, when really he's being abused, just emotionally and through manipulation. It's really hard to watch. I am putting all the trigger warnings on this movie if you have any sort of history with this kind of stuff, because trust me, it's gonna hit all those bells.
Yeah, this movie can also be called Woman from Shape of Water plays pure evil.
Yes, Sally Hawkins plays the mother, whose name I believe is Laura in this movie, the foster mother, to be clear. And it is simultaneously her best performance, but also the most horrifying performance I've ever seen her give. And that's saying a lot because she's good in just about everything she's in. It's really hard to judge what is or isn't spoilers for this movie for the simple reason that once the movie gets going, it's not hard to figure out where it's going if you pick up the hints that the movie's dropping throughout the movie. That being said, the trailers don't really tell you any of that stuff except for the title.
The title tells you more than the trailer.
Yes.
And it's almost too bad that the title kind of tips you off to the fact that something supernatural is going on.
Yes. The character of Laura also has adopted this other boy named Oliver, who throughout the movie, you're not even sure if he's a real boy. And despite the fact that he does a lot of creepy and unsettling stuff in this movie, again, the most horrifying stuff is watching Sally Hawkins manipulate these two children. And especially the way she corners the boy and gives him no choice but to act out in order to survive the situation.
Yeah, the entire time she is trying to get him to do something for which she can then blame him.
Yep, 100%. Because it's clear for whatever reason she wants the boy gone and only wants the sister. The brother's gotta go, the sister's the one she wants. The sister gets the special treatment. But the sister is blind, and you can tell there's a connection for her, for the foster mother, because her kid, who died years before, was also blind.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there trying to figure out, okay, is she giving special treatment to the daughter because it's a replacement for her daughter, or what's going on? You'll have to wait until you get to the end of the movie to find out what's going on there.
Yeah, the themes of the film are vision.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a problem seeing the situation for what it is, either literally or figuratively, with the exception of the son.
Mm-hmm.
The brother sees things clearly, but he thinks he's going crazy.
Yes, and he thinks he's going crazy by design.
Yeah.
She wants him to feel like he's going crazy. Is he actually picking up on what he's picking up on? And the answer is he's being gaslit the entire time.
The other major thing that is happening is water is bad.
Water is a source of horror throughout this movie. Not only did their father die in the shower, her daughter, the one that died before she took in foster kids, died in the pool and was also blind, so she obviously fell in the pool while trying to figure out how to get around the place. One thing that's also clear is that even though she had a blind kid and she's taken in another blind kid, her house is not built for blind people.
No, it's a blind person death trap,
almost to the point where you're trying to figure out, is she intentionally taking in blind kids so they'll kill themselves? What's going on here?
The Hansel and Gretel of blind children. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Come on in, my blind pretty. You know?
But she is basically a wicked stepmother from a fairy tale.
Yeah, she is.
Essentially. She's a foster mother, but she fits that role to the T in this movie. Shout out to the girl who plays the sister in this movie. I believe she's like a first-time actress, and I would never have known.
Is she actually blind?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's actually blind.
Yeah.
That's not a special effect.
Okay, all right. She has to be so terrified during the majority of this movie.
She does. Or
Yeah.
she has to be, like, oblivious.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of stuff that happens where the context changed if you can see what's happening versus what you can just hear.
It was a good performance.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Actually, everybody was on fire. Like
Oh, God,
The,
like-
the brother, the kid that played Oliver, and of course,
Sally.
Sally. Yeah.
Sally Hawkins.
Sally Hawkins. One of the weird aspects of the movie that I found myself like trying to figure out like how it all fit in was actually the foster mother's relationship to her own actual blind dead daughter.
Yes, there's a lot of questions there. There's a lot of stuff that's kept close to the chest until the end of the movie when they really start to peel those layers.
Yeah. And speaking of peeling those layers, maybe we should begin to do that.
It's probably a good idea. We're having a hard time talking about this movie in the pre-spoiler section because so much of the meat of this movie is in the spoilers, and the rest of the movie...
There's a lot that happens that's very unexpected.
Yeah, and the rest of the movie are all these intense, like, gaslighting scenes that I don't want to just spoil by explaining them to you.
Yeah.
But they're really intense. It's probably some of the most intense stuff I've seen in a theater this year. And so with that said, Bring Her Back is currently available in theaters. Go check it out for yourself. I highly recommend you do check it out. It actually looks really good on the big screen.
Yeah.
And with that said, let us move on to the spoilers.
So, throughout the movie, the brother keeps wetting the bed. Yeah, it turns out no. She is pissing on him.
Yeah, she's pissing into a jar and then pouring the jar on him in the middle of the night so that he thinks he is wetting the bed every night.
Yeah, because wetting the bed is one of the signs of emotional instability.
Yep, and she wants him to be emotionally unstable and she wants him to be acting out so she has a reason to kick him out of the house because she ultimately only wants the sister.
Yeah, the main reason why he comes with the sister is because they insist on not being separated.
Yeah, originally they were going to separate the two in the foster care system and they insisted, no, don't separate us. I know I'm going to be 18 in like 3 months, but I want to be with my sister.
Right.
And when I turn 18, I'm going to apply for foster care over her so that I'll be her guardian.
Right. Knowing this, the foster mother is like fucking sabotaging that.
Yes, sabotaging both him being there and also his ability to apply for foster later.
Right.
Because he'll be seen as unstable, abusive. She also tries to make it look like he's abusive at certain points in this movie. Provokes him to essentially attack her so that the sister, who's blind and can't see what's actually happening, thinks that her brother just hit their foster mom.
Yeah, and it even goes to the point where the foster mom literally beats the sister in order to cause bruising that she can then blame on the brother.
Yeah, this is how fucked up this manipulation gets. The brother ends up falling in the shower because he has a lot of PTSD around the shower because that's where his father died. And at one point, he's in the shower and sees the ghost of his dad, who tells him that his sister's gonna die in the rain. Very ominously. And
yeah,
it's entirely possible that the ghost is a ghost in this because there's a lot of other weird, spooky shit happening throughout this movie.
Yeah.
So he ends up slipping in the shower and hitting his head, ends up in the hospital. The foster mom wakes him up in the hospital. She hands him this deodorant spray. And it's just like, your sister got this for you. And so later, she sprays herself with the spray, sneaks into the room, knowing that the brother had put her to bed earlier, so he was in the room with her when she was falling asleep, and just pounds on her face.
Yeah.
And then runs out of the room. So the sister wakes up having just been hit and disoriented, and all she can smell is the smell of her brother.
Yeah.
And again, she's blind, so she can't see. So she manipulates the situation so that the sister is convinced that her brother just beat her in the middle of the night.
Yep.
It's intense.
So, get down to the ultimate purpose of this, which the title kind of gives away.
The title is the biggest spoiler of all, because ultimately what this whole scenario is this is a giant ritual. She is trying to bring her dead daughter back from the grave, using a ritual that involves a surrogate body that may be containing a demon of some kind, which is the Oliver kid that she's adopted, but she hasn't really adopted him. She actually abducted him and has put like some sort of spirit inside of the boy. And the job of that spirit is to transfer the soul from the corpse to another person. And that other person is going to be this daughter that she has adopted, the sister to the brother. And the way the soul is transferred is by the demon child eats the corpse and then essentially spits it into the other kid after the other kid dies.
Yeah.
But the other kid has to die the exact same way the original kid died in order for this to work. They have to recreate the death scenario. So she has to wait for it to be the day of rain, where rain's happening, just like when her daughter died. And she has to drag the other daughter into the pool to drown her in the pool. Hence the whole, she's gonna die in the rain. It's part of the ritual.
That she has to die when it's raining.
So he 100% did see the corpse of his dad in the shower, the ghost of his dad.
Yeah, and the ghost of his dad is actually such a fucking, it's not very helpful.
No, he's not, but it's also within character because as we learn over the course of the movie, they didn't go from a happy household to an abusive household.
Yeah, they went from an abusive household to an abusive household.
But it was also an abusive household where the son was also getting the brunt of it.
Yeah.
And this is also part of his trauma with the shower. He would take him into the bathroom, turn on the shower so the daughter can't hear it, and then beat the shit out of his son.
So there are a whole bunch of reasons he doesn't want to be in a shower.
He has a lot of shower trauma, yes. So you have both types of domestic abuse in this movie. You have the gaslighting manipulation stuff, and then you also have the physical abuse in the form of the dad. And the dad, when he shows up as a ghost, is still kind of a dick. Because first off, the information he gave him was not super helpful. And also, him showing up in that shower led to him hitting his head in the shower and ending up in the hospital and not being able to help. So, thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Ghost Dad. You really help. You're really batting 1,000 here. This movie doesn't have a happy ending. I'm just going to say that right now.
No, we're about to talk about perhaps the biggest twist in this movie. So for 90% of this movie, your main character is the brother. And the sister is basically a secondary character for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Until the last 10 minutes when the brother is killed by the foster mom.
Yeah.
And the sister has to survive the ritual itself. And it's pretty brutal too. The brother manages to get the social worker who did their case to the house to see everything that's going wrong, only for the foster mother to run her over with a car and run him over with a car and then drown him in a pool of like water that happened to be
there. Yeah, he is dead.
He's dead as shit. And it's actually something set up earlier in the movie because they have this whole exchange when their dad dies, when a plane's flying over.
Yeah.
This whole exchange of like, oh, that's dad going to heaven. That's how people go to heaven. You just die and you're flown to heaven.
Right.
After she successfully gets away from being killed in the ritual, she sees a plane flying overhead. Like the idea being that the brother's going to heaven.
Yeah. Now, the ritual fails.
There's a human error.
Yeah, there's a human error.
One of the things that the foster mother said earlier in the movie is that she would give anything to hear her daughter call her mom again.
Yeah.
And throughout the entire movie, she's trying to get the new daughter to call her mom multiple times, kind of forcefully, actually.
Yeah.
When she starts drowning the foster child screams out, "Stop, Mom."
Yeah.
And when she hears the word mom, she seizes up and lets her go. Bittersweet is probably the best way to describe it, because it's not a happy ending, but it's also not like a completely sad ending.
Yeah, it's not a complete tragedy. Like, some people live.
Yes, some people get away. The villain doesn't win.
Yeah, doesn't get what they want.
But the main character you've been following throughout the movie is dead as shit. Justice for Andy. Holy shit.
Yeah, jeez. By the end of it, we're pretty sure he goes to heaven because they do all the signifying.
They can do all the signifying. Also, he was like the world's best brother.
Yes.
There is that whole story he told about when he was much younger and he hit his sister because he was jealous of her because the dad always played favorites.
Yeah.
But Beyond that, everything we see him do in this movie, he is the world's best brother.
Yeah, he does everything he possibly can.
Had they not encountered this foster mother, he would have been a great parent.
Yeah, it probably would have been okay.
They would have made it work.
Yeah, the moment when you find out, oh, that's not even her son.
Yeah. No.
She just kidnapped random kid.
Oh yeah, that missing persons poster with the kid when he had hair.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck happened?
Rituals do something to you.
Yeah. Either she shaved it all off or like the ritual just makes your hair fall out.
Overall, I think this is one of the best horror movies of the year. It's up there with some of the other great ones we've watched, like The Monkey and stuff like that.
Yeah. I would still say Sinners is probably still my number one.
Sinners is number one for me.
Yeah.
It is the best movie of the year, period, for me so far.
It's good. It ain't quite that good. But that one, Sinners, what percentage of Sinners is cut?
Because Sinners is like in its own elevated category right now in my mind. That's why I compared it to like The Monkey or something.
Yeah. Like Monkey Final Destination.
Yeah. Good stuff we've seen. It's really fucking good. I enjoyed it. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Well, you can find me on Blue Sky at Count Jackula, and you can find me here on YouTube, where I stream most weeknights at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you should come down, talk to me, because I would love to talk to you.
Y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me on various social media platforms, but these days, I primarily use Blue Sky, so follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we will certainly accept more. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag #JusticeForAndy. Use the hashtag #JusticeForAndy, that way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the whole world knows that you know who was truly wronged in this movie. Really.